The question is, does hell exist? Is it real? Well, the only one of the evidences you only have to look at the figure Satan. We can see evidence for hell by the very fact that Satan exists. Satan is indeed a real being, not merely a force or personification of evil. Satan was once anointed cherub, Ezekiel 28:14, in which before he rebelled against God, he was called Lucifer, meaning light bearer. Lucifer was created as an angel to reflect God's glory. As Ezekiel 28:15 says, that Lucifer was perfect in all his ways since the day he was created. But Ezekiel 28:15 goes on to say, there came a point in time that this changed. Lucifer went from being the picture of holiness to the picture of evil. This happened when Lucifer rebelled against God. Lucifer was lifted up by pride, and pride is what done him in, what consigned him to judgment. We only have to look at Isaiah chapter 14, 12 to 14. It shows us how Lucifer said he wanted to exalt his throne above the stars and sit upon the mount of the congregation. Lucifer wanted to exalt himself above God and reign in his place. Lucifer wanted to be like the Most High. For that, God threw him out of heaven to the earth. From that day forward, Lucifer was known as Satan, which means the adversary, or he became the accuser of the brethren. As Ezekiel 28 to 13, 14 says that Satan, we know that the serpent that was in the garden, that it was Satan, because when we read Ezekiel 28, 13, 14, it says that Satan was in the garden and this anointed cherub was in the garden. We know that we all know the story of Adam and Eve, how that serpent, which is Satan, tempted evil to partake of the fruit from the tree of knowledge of good and evil. From that very act of disobedience, death by sin entered into the world, and judgment by sin entered the world. Satan's influence now holds captive the minds and will of all those who do not believe. Since God is righteous, he has to hold evil accountable. God cannot let evil win at the end of the day. So God created a place for Satan so he could get rid of evil. And this is called hell. This place is called hell. We look at Matthew 28:40, chapter 25:41, and it says, then he shall also say unto them on the left, depart from me, ye cursed, into everlasting fire, and prepared for the devil and his angels. Let's look at this passage for a little bit. It tells of the the separating the sheep from the goats. Sheep is the righteous, the goats is the unrighteous. And we can see that those who are cursed, who are condemned to judgment, is to be departed into what is called everlasting fire, fire that is eternal. So hell was created, especially the reason why God created hell for was to get rid of evil, a place for Satan and the rest of his fallen angels. Also, hell, we see this from the passage. Also, the wicked is consigned to this place. One thing I hear that who deny hell, that they say that hell is not a place of torment. They think that hell is only a separation from God and not punishment. Well, the truth is, hell is a place of punishment for the wicked. We look at the parable of the rich man, Lazarus and the rich man. This comes to us from Luke 16:24-26. And it reads, and he cried and said, Father Abraham, have mercy on me. Send Lazarus that he may dip his tongue, that he may dip his finger in water, and to cool my tongue. Take a drop of water and let it drop on my tongue, for I'm tormented. So we see that the rich man is tormented in this flame. Abraham said, Son, remember that thou in thy lifetime received the good things, and likewise Lazarus the evil things. That the rich man mocked him and withheld his goods from help. But he's saying this that Lazarus is now in comfort. So we see, without a place of comfort, without a place of discomfort, we would not have anything to compare it to the place of comfort, which is heaven. So he's now in heaven, which is a place of comfort, but thou art tormented, a place of torment. So we can clearly say that there's a place of comfort and a place of discomfort or torment. And beside all this, between us, there's a great gulf fixed. So there's another thing that people say, well, this is just basically a jail cell, like a sentence that once you do your time, you'll be let go. There's a gulf that God made that you cannot cross over, you cannot get out. There's a chasm, a gulf that once you are in hell, you can't cross over to heaven. And with past tense, you cannot pass this barrier. Neither can pass to us. That would come from thence. So now we come to how final is this punishment? We only have to look at Revelation 14, 9 to 11. And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, If any man worship the beast and his image, and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of God, this cup, this wrath, this punishment, which is poured out without mixture in the cup of indignation, shall suffer his indignation, and shall be tormented with this fire of wrath, fire and brimstone, in the presence of his holy angels, in the presence of the Lamb. And the smoke of their torment ascendeth up forever and ever. So how final? There is the picture of this torment, this punishment, goes up for how long a time? Forever and ever. In this place, it says they have no rest, day or night. So this kind of final judgment is final, and this punishment is final, and it's eternal. They have no rest. The wicked has no rest, day or night. Those who worship the beast and image, whosoever receive his mark. So yeah, the truth is that hell is a place for punishment for the wicked. The wicked shall suffer the second death. It says here in Revelation 21, verse 8, but the fearful and unbelieving and the abominable, the murderers and whoremongers and sorcerers and adulterers and all liars shall have their part in the lake which burns with fire and brimstone. This is the second death. So this is a place for the wicked. So another thing I hear, those who deny hell, is that if God is all loving, why would he create such a place? Why would he send us there? Well, the truth is, you freely choose hell. Well, you might ask me, when did I ever choose to go to hell? Well, by rejecting the way that God provided a way for the escape hell by sending his son. John 3:16, for God so loved the world, his love, he shows his love by sending his son to die for us, that he gave his only begotten son, that whosoever believeth in him shall not perish or suffer this punishment, but have everlasting life. So enjoy this everlasting life with him in his kingdom. God sent not his son into the world to condemn the world, that the world might be saved through him. So the sending of his son, it wasn't for condemnation, but that he would provide, be delivered from your sin, which is the consequence of sin is hell. That you would be delivered, escape this punishment. But you stand condemned already, because you shall die in your sin. He that believeth on him is not condemned, but he that believes on him is not condemned, but he that believes not is condemned already, because he hath not believed the name of the only begotten Son. You stand condemned. You rejected the only way to escape this. This is condemnation, and you freely choose this. You freely choose this. This is the truth. That light come in the world, and men love darkness rather than light, because their deeds were evil. So that you rejected him. You did not want it to come to the light, because you love darkness more than this light, this grace, this gift of grace offered to you. You rejected it. This only way to escape this punishment, because their deeds are evil. For everyone that doeth evil hateth the light, he hates this graciousness, because their hearts are darkened, and they love this sin. They do not come to light. Because why? Because you would have to face correction. You would have to face or own up to that you have done wrong. That's why they hate the light, because it tells them that they are a sinner. It shows them how wicked they are. But those who do come to light, that his deeds may be manifest, that they are wrought in God. But the good news that those who believe, says John 5:24, very verily say unto you, this is a truthful saying, a faithful saying, he that heareth my word and believeth on him, those who hear his word, the gospel, and do believe in his Son, the death, burial, and resurrection, shall have this eternal life, this everlasting life. They shall not come into this condemnation, but have passed from death unto life. So this is the good news. You shall not come into this condemnation, but pass from death unto life. So at the end of the day, end of days, this was God's plan, to deliver us from this deliver us from this sin, to vanquish the devil, which would influence us to sin, and to get rid of all evil. And this all evil is consigned to judgment. 1 Corinthians 15:26 says that this last enemy that God will destroy is death. We have this physical death. We shall put off mortality and put on immortality. We shall be immortal, cannot die. And he shall vanquish, shall deliver us from this spiritual death, this death which was resulted in sin. So God will get rid of sin, and we will live with him eternally in his kingdom, free of sin and death. That is the good news.